Hey there, fellow 78 lovers and other people who like to live vicariously through the hunting and pecking of others. Given all the fun that the world has been having with Russia lately, I figured it would be fun to share the latest finds that I pulled out from my thrift store dig. You know, it's unbelievable. I can go a few months without finding a single thing, and then within just a couple of weeks I can pull out collections of records that I've never seen before. And this past trip certainly did not fail to impress me. I have never seen any of these before. These are by I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that, although if the Earth becomes the Soviet Socialist Republic, I guess I'm going to have to start learning how to speak Russian. But in any case, I found 10, 12, 13 of these records. I was looking on Discogs, and I was able to match the numbers with the record label. This was a manufacturer of Russian discs somewhere in the Moscow vicinity. These were manufactured for export, hence the made in the Soviet Union at the bottom. Although apparently, according to folks on the 78 fans page on Facebook, these were made for export but also sold regionally. Very cool sleeve on all of these. USSR, of course, on the label, CCCP on the sleeve. I actually looked up on Google how to pronounce this. You know what? I'll find it in here somewhere. What was this called? It was, oh, quiet over there. Russian English Dictionary.
Апрелевский завод.
Aprelivsky Zavod. Aprelivsky Zavod. And then, of course, the American
Апрелевский plant.
Aprelivsky plant. So I imagine if you do a combination of the two,
Апрелевский завод.
Aprelivsky plant. So I'm not even going to pretend to be able to read these, but what I'll do is I'll just hold each one up to the camera for a little bit. I'm not sure what the pencil writing is that is accompanying these sleeves. I am going to go through and put these all into Discogs later. So I noticed that there were 3 blue labels, and I wonder if these are a particular meaning, like, you know, with Victor's black label, blue label, red label, purple, you know, classical, popular. I wonder if these releases are similar. There's actually some English on some of these. Music by V. Zakharov, Piansky Russian folk chorus. All with super cool sleeves, made in the Soviet Union. I don't have a particular interest in this music, but I had to, every time I'm in this particular store, I am sort of haunted by the day that a teacher had come in and just these records are 50 cents each, and a teacher had come in and just grabbed a handful. And I had asked her, oh, do you have an interest in, you know, old 78s? And she said, oh no, I'm grabbing these for an art project. My kids are gonna paint on these. It was all I could do to not ask to look through the records that she had grabbed. I could see a lot of red Columbia labels and discs that probably weren't going to be a huge loss to the world. But I'm forever haunted by that. And so whenever I go in there and I see, this one is really falling apart. When I see discs like this, I have to save them, if for no other reason than to just get them and then pass them along to someone who would appreciate them. So I'll probably put these together in a batch and see if there's anyone interested in them as a lot. There is one Czechoslovakian record in this whole mix. I actually do have an Ultraphone label not label, but sleeve in my collection of random sleeves. I never had a record to go in it. This one is so messed up and so degraded that perhaps I could swap it over, but I also kind of like keeping the original sleeves with the discs that come with them. Yeah, again, not going to pretend that I can read this stuff, but I will look these up. I'll input these before I sell them. And then I also found his Master's Voice, obviously not in the right label, but I keep seeing that, not in the right sleeve, although I love this sleeve. I haven't seen one like this before, and unlike most Columbia sleeves, this one is not completely falling apart. It looks like this is meant for the Latin music Spanish-speaking market. Dubanushka, Russian folk song, Theodore Shalapin, bass in Russian with orchestra. I really love these stamps on here. Those are pretty cool. Down the Pietersky, arranged by Theodore Shalapin. Nifty record. Oh, by the way, I should note that these all look pretty much unplayed. I think someone just had them in a collection. They have just a few little scuff marks, but those of us who really know 78s know that those scuff marks mean absolutely nothing. I will say that there was a piece of paper, so someone had collected these and had started writing them down, probably knew a little bit about Russian, at least how to translate. And so, this is a list. It does say 14 piece. I don't know how many I just went through there while I was talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I guess there's 4 missing from that batch. Be curious to see what they are. I thought it was interesting. This was written on the back of a calendar from almost 10 years ago. There must have been a church synagogue somewhere. Actually, I was reading through this, and there's a community Thanksgiving service at the Central United Methodist Church. So it's probably a Methodist church somewhere that shared with a synagogue. They probably shared a building. But I thought that was pretty cool. There's really nothing on here that gives an address. There's only a few names on here. I kind of looked through. Could have been New Jersey, could have been Rhode Island. No idea. I'll keep it with those because that kind of stuff is always cool. So that was that batch. Never found a batch like that before. In the same thrift store, I also came across a couple of 10-inch records, and anyone who's seen my what did I find at the thrift store today knows that I get kind of excited about these 10-inch records. These Brazilian Carnival records. I actually put this one on today. Fun record. Actually sounds really, really good. I'm going to clean it up, do a little ultrasonic cleaning. Copacabana label. Kind of curious as to the person who was like, hey guys, we need to design a front cover for this album before we release it. Yeah, let's take an undershot close-up picture of this dude with a bunch of makeup on, and that is going to be the best album cover ever. I bought it despite this cover. I actually like this one a bit more, and I'll put this one on, and I look forward to seeing what that sounds like. But couple of cool 10-inch records. Again, everything at this store is, 50 cents, whatever. I certainly wasn't going to do wrong with paying $1 for two 10-inch LPs. Now, in case you were thinking that was the coolest part of my day, and behind all the Russian records, I found this Connorized, not a record label I was familiar with. I hadn't ever seen one before. We've got Harry Ratterman's orchestra on one side. I'm not sure what this means. Roll for player piano. On this side, Benny Kruger's orchestra. So this is a fun, 1920s sort of ragtimey jazz kind of disc. Haven't put it on yet. I don't know what made me pick this one up other than I made a video once and in it I referenced Peerless Quartet. I think I just wanted to save a cool old Victor record. This one is still the Batwing pre-orthophonic, so it is probably in the wrong sleeve. Spanish on one side, English on the other, although I don't see any orthophonic mentioned, so it's probably the right one. I haven't really looked at it. Oh, no, it's an older one. I did find this Al Jolson, right? If you had a nickel for every time you found Sonny Boy by Al Jolson, but how many times do you find it with, let's see if I can just, with a completely see-through crack. I don't know how many copies of this record I've had. I may turn this one into a coaster. It is certainly not worth it to try and heat that one up and join that together. This is not a rare disc. It's got a nice label. I'd probably wreck it, but anyway, that one was in there. And I actually don't even remember buying that one. I guess I would have been disappointed if I'd found that it had a crack in it. I love these old Radix Grey Gull Supreme records. Hawaiian Guitar Duet by Ferrara and Franchini. My old Kentucky home. I probably have this one, but again, I had to save this from the art teachers out there that would destroy it. It's in pretty decent shape for these dime store labels. And on the back side, O Sole Mio. Also, like anyone else, I'm a sucker for the red discs, or brown. Ben Burney and his orchestra. I love Ben Burney records. This is on my want list on Discogs because it was one I didn't have. And so now I have a copy of My Buddy on the Vocalion label with Flower of Araby on the back. And this one is very nice shape. This was not abused. Such cool discs. Think the 78 will ever come back? No, probably not. They're way too heavy. Another red Vocalion, Charles Hart and Elliott Shaw doing Mandy and Me. And Plantation Lullaby. I actually don't know if I have a copy of this one or not, but again, it was 50 cents and it was in such beautiful shape. So it was after I pulled back both these Vocalions that I was struck by the surprise of the year, probably. How often do you come across an entire batch of beautiful Monarchs? I mean, these things were only made for 2 years, right? I don't remember off the top of my head, 1904, 1905. And here they were, just sitting in the back of a milk crate, no sleeves. I couldn't believe it. I probably was shaking hands, pulled them out. I mean, these aren't super expensive, super rare discs, but you know, this is a really cool part of the history of Victor Records. Made for only 2 years. I just love that etching in the logo. And what I found was that when I put these into Discogs, Discogs didn't actually have any of them except for one. So real quick, here's Victor Monarch record 2435 with Westminster Chimes doing Old Lang Syne. I can only imagine putting this on my Victor 3 Christmas, New Year's time. I just love records with a theme like that. And then it's funny, I just sold an Aretino record the other day of Cal Stewart. I had a bunch of Aretinos in case I ever got myself a player. Never got the player, so I started selling off the records. Let me know in case anyone out there is looking for one. They're the ones with a giant hole cut out in the middle. Anyway, this is a meeting of the Ananias Club. This is one of those ones that I put on Discogs because it wasn't up there. Disc number 1476. Really just nice shape. I can't wait to put at least one of these on my player. I'm probably going to make videos of each of these. Last Day of School at Pumpkin Center, Cal Stewart. Disc number 1490. I mean, look at that label. Little discoloration right here. I don't even know what that is, but it's really all it is. The grooves in this look amazing. I'm not even going to do a real cleaning on this. I guess a little bit of classical music. Not super interested, but I can pretend I'm an evil genius doctor listening to my Victrola and holding a cat in my lap while plotting the end of the world. Anvil chorus from Il Trovatore, Joseph Belmont. Disc number 2449. I'm not even sure that Joseph Belmont appeared on Discogs. I may have had to create that profile as well. And then finally, we've got disc number 2443, Sousa's band. Sousa, who said that the invention of the gramophone was going to destroy music forever. Well, little did he know that the Backstreet Boys were going to destroy music forever. We have the Hiawatha two-step. This was a fun pick, and I was not preparing to come out of the thrift store with this many discs under my arm, but I was glad to find them, and I will clean them up and take care of them, make some videos of the ones that don't already appear on the internet, and I will see you later if I come upon another batch. Cheers.